In this video, we're going to empty out the 10 kilo box of vintage Lego. We're going to search online for instructions and we're going to find and sort sets and minifigs, then hopefully build loads of magnificent vintage Lego sets, all by the end of this video. Hello everybody, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to the ones who celebrate, the ones who don't, Happy Holidays, and I hope you guys are all, whether you celebrate or not, enjoying time off with your families. Now, the one thing I want to talk about is vintage Lego. In fact, the only thing I want to talk about is vintage Lego. So, if you haven't been watching this series so far, what we did is purchase 10 kilos of mixed up Lego, vintage only on this channel. What we found was 82, 86 minifigs, something like that. We found 13 horses. We found 17 sets with instructions. We found 12 without, using Brickopedia. Again, if you don't know Brickopedia, go back to the last video. It will explain everything there. And today what we're going to do is empty out that 10 kilos and we're going to use those parts to try and make these sets. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to find all of the sets, but I'm really hoping we do. And we can find 29 sets to show you before the end of this video. And then we're going to put it all on BrickLink. We're going to figure out if we can make any money out of this hobby. And much more importantly, that Lego will be cleaned, polished, packed well, and sent off to you lovely people so that vintage Lego can be appreciated for another 50 years. Right, let's get to it. Let's open that 10 kilos and pour it out. Oh dear, what have I got myself into? Again. Ah, well. So, all sorts of parts. They're all kind of pretty box standard vintage parts. And then if we come over here, we've got the sets lined up. So I've got the Blacksmith shop, fire station, Jet Airliner, police HQ, lunar rocket launcher. We've got the prisoner convoy, space digger, all-terrain vehicle, cosmic cruiser, armor shop, shell service station, and the space supply station. I've actually got these bags here as well. So these ones are just bags I've put together of this stuff that I thought might be useful. So we've got wheels and tires, and we've got the kind of old style castle wheels, and then just some printed elements and stuff. And then over here we've got the base plate, which I believe is for the police HQ. And then we have all of these instruction manuals, which also apparently belong here. Right, I'm going to start picking. I'll join you back in a little bit once I feel like we might have a little bit of progress.
A few moments later.
So a quick update, I have decided just to kind of organize slightly. So I kind of, anytime I find parts, I'm kind of putting them all together. And then what I've done is taken all of the plates, the wheels, all the frames for cars, and the plates away, just so it kind of clears the deck so I can see almost every part now. And that'll give me a much better vantage point just to be able to pick the parts I need. Anyway, I'm going to crack on now. Hopefully we can get some sets picked over the next hour or two. So I'm just doing the prisoner convoy at the moment, and it needs some minifigs. So behind these cupboards, I don't know if any of you have seen these before, but I'm storing kind of the larger Lego sets for a rainy day, for a Lego city. I'm not sure what some of these are going to be, but I store them in here so they're dust free and they stay clean. But under here, I've stored the minifigs from the collection. So again, dust free, so they're organized, so it's easy to pick, all that sort of stuff. So in the prisoner convoy, there's actually quite a lot of knights. So this is where I'm going to be picking my knights from, and hopefully most of them are there. So a couple of questions that I get are, how do you know what parts are going to be in there if you don't have the instructions? Where would you get the instructions from? Do you buy the instructions off BrickLink? So I thought I'd just take you guys through how I would do it. So here you can see me building the prisoner convoy, but we're actually going to go for the jetliner and figure out how we find all the bits and how to find the instructions and stuff. So BrickLink, you don't need an account, just go to bricklink.com. and then type in the set number. Then you'll get here and there'll be a parts list just there. So you click on it. And then if we scroll down, you'll see all of the basic parts that you'll need. These are always 99% of the time 100% correct. On the odd occasion there's an extra part, but generally they're pretty damn accurate. So that's really, really useful tool. Now if you want to build vintage Lego sets, then unfortunately lego.com's building instructions page don't actually have any of the vintage stuff on there. So where do we go? Well, for me, I go to Brick Instructions. There is lots of other places you could go, but Brick Instructions tend to have every single set I ever look for. So if we go to the search bar, we simply just type in the set number, hit the search button, and then we get options of which set do we mean. This is the one that I mean, the Jetliner. So we click on it, and then we get pictures of the instructions. They are literally JPEG images, but they are exactly what we need. It has all the building stages, and it has the ability to zoom in as if you were working on an iPad or on a computer or whatever. So it works perfectly for what I need it to do. Really, really pleased, and this is how I suggest everyone do it. Okay, so we have done 3 of the sets. Let me turn you around. So we have done Blacksmith Shop, Armour Shop, and we've done the Prisoner Convoy. And they are all bagged up now. We're next going to move on to the classic space stuff. So we've got Lunar Rocket, All-Terrain, Cosmic Cruiser, Space Digger, Space Supply Station. Now we've managed to, I've got these lights, which are kind of studio lights, but they really help me see all of the bits of Lego. So that's really good. And we are going to pick these 5. But first, we have had quite a considerable amount of snowfall in the last few hours. And I'm going to go and dig my car out. It's about 6 inches, maybe 5 inches. So what's that, 25 centimeters, something like that. So I'm going to go and dig my car out first, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the next 5 space sets. Let's crack on. So I'm going to stop the time lapse there only because we're missing a couple of pieces. So I've got the trans blue kind of tub for this is missing, which means I can't do the extra builds, which is a bit frustrating. And then we're missing a piece just here as well. It's actually one of these space branded bricks. Now I can put a 1x2 brick in there and just build it anyway, but then, you know, there's no harm in waiting, you know, a bit of patience and all that. But it's been a good day so far. It's about, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Started about lunchtime. Cleared a bit of the table away, which is good. And then tomorrow we're going to move on to the instruction sets. So hopefully that'll be a bit easier. But we've had a good day of kind of picking and packing these sets. And yeah, it's been enjoyable. A great way to spend a New Year's Day. And we'll see you again in the morning, hopefully, so we can start building a bit more. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Oh, what a beautiful day out there. Wow. It's about -8, -9, something like that out there. But perfectly normal for this time of the year. And it will be like this for the next couple of months. We've got a little bit of building to do. So I'd like to get the remaining 5 done. So hopefully they'll be done today, and then we can move on to the instruction ones. But honestly, I'm going to spend a lot of the day at we've got a massive ski resort about 20 minutes down the road. My kids snowboard, and we often go down there and have wonderful ski days when it's weather like this. So that's what we're going to go and do now, and then hopefully by this afternoon or this evening, they'll probably end up going back to their mum's house, and I'll start building again. Let's go. So got back from the ski slope of a day of snowboarding, and it's kind of late afternoon now, so I thought I'd build a few of the larger base plate or larger sets anyway. So the fire station was first. That was quite a good one. Jetliner was good. Always enjoy the planes. Really looking forward to building my airport one day soon. That'll be good fun. So it's been about 3-4 days since the last time I've built or done anything. I've been hanging out with my two boys. They're teenagers. They don't want to hang out with dad much these days. But I've been very lucky because they wanted Meta Quests for Christmas. So they both got one. And then I've managed to get my son's, and let me turn you around. I've managed to get my son's old one. So we've been playing Pavlov. I don't know if anybody knows the game Pavlov on the Meta Quest, but we've been playing a lot of that, and we've been out skiing, snowboarding a few times, and just really enjoying the winter weather. This is what it looks like from my window now. It's kind of just snowed immensely over the last little while. We had a massive moose in the garden as well, but you can't really see the tracks because it's been snowing so much. But anyway, so where are we? We've done all of these. The only two we haven't done are these two. Honestly, because I can't be bothered. I don't have the base plate for that one, and I've just built it in like 2 videos ago. And the same with this one. I think I have a base plate for this, and I probably have the parts, and at one point I will build them. But honestly, I'm much more excited about going through all the instruction manuals here, and hopefully we've got all the Lego parts here. Now, I understand it looks a bit of a mess, but it's actually reasonably organised. Not massively, but I know where everything is. So you've got kind of turntables, minifig accessories, speakers, you've got steering wheels, there's some slopes, all the black slopes are there. Over on this side, I've got kind of castle pieces. I've got the turntables with the clips. I've got all sorts of things that kind of, so everything's kind of got its place here. So I'm fairly certain with those instruction manuals, I should be able to build them up reasonably quickly. I don't know what we're going to do after that. Hopefully, I'm going to show you guys all of them, and then we're going to stick them on BrickLink. Right, let's get to it, because I'm probably boring the pants off you. Right, bear with me just 1 minute. Now, I hope the audio is working. I'm kind of wandering around. Now, I've got instructions. I've got my pick boxes, and my plan is to speed picking, then speed building. Let me grab you here, bring you over this way. Hoping you can see everything. Tell you what, let me pause you. There we go, unpaused. So my plan is, I've got these boxes here. So my plan is to put these instructions in here, and then it kind of gives me a direction in which to build. So I've got some town sets that I'm going to put in this one here, and I'm hoping I can get these done, picked and built today. And then I'm going to move on to, I've got some other bits. So I've got some classic space, and I've got this random classic castle one as well. But the idea is each one of these has no more than probably 30, maybe 50 parts. So I can get these done nice and quickly. So these ones I can speed pick the whole tray, then speed build. Exactly the same for this one. Now I've got these. Now this is kind of a nice little, slightly larger, probably 130 pieces, something like that. And then we've got the bus station, which is an absolute legend of the classic town world. I've actually got some of these, a 3-in-1 and a this is the police station from over there, and I've built this one already. So these are going to go over there, and then I've got these 3 trays left, and then that will be all of this 10 kilo Lego, all of this stuff, hopefully done and built, and hopefully we're going to make it look amazing. And I'd love to show you all of the sets once we've done it. So we're on the last stretch of picking. I did it in 2 sessions of about 45 minutes or so, and it was pretty good. And everything else that was left over will just go into the inventory and will be used at some point, either for mocking or for when I decide to build other sets. But yeah, 2 easy sessions, and I'm ready to build now. So that's the 2 trays there. I'm actually missing a few bits for the post van and the ambulance. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to build them all, but the plan is to build all of the sets, have them all on display, and show you most of them, whichever ones fit in the light box. But I wanted to show you something else because I've got a confession to make. So I've just finished bagging up all the last bits of the vintage light grey, parts off the white table that you just saw in the last clip. However, I didn't wash the Lego before, and I have found something pretty gross. So this is what the table looks like after I've cleared all the parts off. Yeah, that's gross. So if anybody ever buys vintage Lego from anybody, do themselves a favour and wash it. I was really lazy this time. Normally I would. This time I didn't. Oh my god, I regret it. Anyway, enough of that disgusting nonsense. Let's build. So this all happened reasonably quickly, to be honest. Each set takes 2 minutes to build, if that. So within 20-25 minutes, I was all done, having watched an episode or something. I really enjoy these little builds. Some of them better than others. But honestly, this is the way forward. This is the way to go. Mass parting out, mass building, job done. Now I can show you all the sets. And then we have it, the complete collection. After a couple of weeks, probably about 12 hours worth of actual work, of kind of sorting, parting out, picking, cleaning, building, we have 26 full completed sets, plus still about 45 minifigs and horses still to sell as well. So it's turned out that 2,000 krona mystery box we bought actually had quite a lot of good stuff in it. So I want to take you through some of this stuff so you have an idea of what we managed to purchase. And if you like some of these sets, I'm going to add the set numbers and the names under here as well, so you have an idea of what they all are. So this first one here is the Space Supply Station from 1983. And it's a lovely set for several reasons. One, it comes with the base plate. So it gives you that kind of classic space look immediately if you're trying to display some of your other lovely sets. It also comes with 4 mini builds in those vehicles, and it comes with 4 spacemen minifigs as well. Absolutely lovely stuff. The next one here is this set just there. Mobile Ground Tracking Station from 1979, and it has several little bits that I quite like. So the first bit is those articulation on the back to open it out, and then you have the printed element inside. You then have the rear part as well, which allows kind of a more drivability and functionality, gives it more of a look when it's actually placed on display on those base plates as well. So that's another lovely little set there. Next we have the Cosmic Cruiser. Now, this Cosmic Cruiser is a great set for several reasons. The first one is it's actually a 2-in-1 build. So you have the rocket type mini build inside the larger spaceship type build. So if we open up the back there, we can pull out the actual rocket type build where the little spaceman sits, and then we can slide him back in, and then you can see him through that trans blue elements at the top. Absolutely lovely stuff. Now we move on to some of the smaller mini builds. So this one here is the Space Scooter from 1981. Again, it's actually cheaper to buy this than it is just a white spaceman, because then you get the build as well, because the white spacemen go for about 100 krona on BrickLink. The next one is this one here, which is the mineral detector. Now I actually built this and sold it to a lovely person across the pond, I think, not long ago. This is a lovely set. Looks brilliant on kind of displaying with classic space sets. Comes with the red spaceman. Mine, unfortunately, on this one has a little bit of fading on his torso, but nevertheless, it is a lovely, lovely set. Now we have the Surface Transport, which is the guy with the blue minifig spaceman just there. Now, this one is from 1983, set number 6823. And again, the articulation always looks kind of cool because when you actually start moving them and kind of placing them where they're going to display, it kind of gives it that idea of movement because they're kind of not bent. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, it looks fantastic. And it's another one of those sets which I think is great for kind of new people into vintage Lego and new people who want to start a classic space display. Right, the guy with the red minifig is the Space Digger. So he is from 1981. It has the articulation on the back. Pretty much another simple build, just like the Space Buggy below him from 1979. These are all kind of classic space things. They look great on a base plate, on display, especially with several other sets. And honestly, if you want to start vintage Lego, this might be the place that I would suggest you start. Right, moving on to this guy at the back here. Now this fella has a wonderful articulation on the back. The Lunar rocket launcher from 1984. And you get the classic white spaceman, but you get the rocket. And the rocket sits on this arm, which then moves up and down. It's actually a wonderful thing. You have where the driver sits in that cabin bit, that articulates as well. So that moves left and right. So posing it on a moon base plate or something like that looks absolutely wonderful. So this is the police headquarters from 1979. I built this on the channel the other day. It's a great set. It's something that you should definitely look into if you're looking to build some sort of vintage city or anything like that. But realistically, these sets are all between kind of 400 and 700 krona, something like that. And you get the base plate, you get some minifigs with some decent printing, you get some vehicles to build, and you get something that looks great in a city. So definitely something I would recommend for that. Right, let's move over to these two here, because these are two that I guess are something that everybody wants to have in their city. On the left, the Shell service station. So it's wonderful. These vintage sets, they actually have different ways you can use the pieces, and they suggest alternate builds on the back of the instruction manuals. So the Shell, actually you can build across the road if you want to, or you can have it in this standard formation here. I have a roll of original string, which I plan on cutting up and putting to each one of these pumps. And then you get the classic Shell minifigs as well in there. It's a basic set, but again, one that looks great in a vintage city and something you can definitely expand on, maybe offer a back to it or something else if you plan on mocking with it. The one on the right is the fire station. It's the 1981 version of the fire station. There are about 6 different versions of fire stations across this period. This is probably my second or third favorite. I have a favorite. If you want to see it, it will be coming on the channel very soon. But this one, the fire truck is probably the best part of this entire build. It has loads and loads of little secret parts to it. Then you have the garage doors, which is always fun. I mean, everyone loves the garage doors, don't they? Right, let's move on to the minifigs that I managed to get with this set. So let's move the camera down and move it to about there. So as you can see, I've managed to secure, I say secure, kind of not to use 45 minifigs. Now some of them need extra elements. You can see a lot of the knights don't have their helmets. One of the spacemen don't have a space helmet. There are some people that don't have kind of their accessories. The horses don't have saddles, the black ones at the back. So there are bits missing, which you can always, I'll always come across because I buy bulk sets or bulk packages. So I'll always end up finding kind of these helmets or the saddles or that sort of stuff. And then, I'll just go through my minifig a lot and pick out what I need. But all of these, if they're complete, will certainly sell for 50 to 100 krona. And if they're not complete, they'll stay in the collection until they are. And then slowly but surely, I'll sell them off if I don't need them. But things like maybe the spacemen, I might keep just in case I ever do a classic space mock. And it's more than likely I'll almost certainly do a classic castle mock at some point with some of the high molded base plates and those sorts of things. So these knights will probably come in handy at some point along the road. Right, let's move along. So there we have the ambulance just there. Now this ambulance is a little bit dirty only because I have no idea how to clean printed parts that don't rub off the vintage thing. I'm doing it very gently. If anybody's got any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But, you know, if you rub it too hard, you start rubbing off some of the printed elements, and I really don't want to do that with vintage Lego. So I'm happy to have that kind of not perfect look to make sure that the printed elements stay good. Anyway, this ambulance from 1981 is lovely. Then you've got the, let's move along to the police truck just there. Now this is great, using window elements on both sides and the rear to kind of, you know, as secure to, you know, transport passengers or that sort of stuff. But from 1981, it's another great set. Let's move down here to, here we go, to these two sets just there. Now these two are, as you can see, very simple builds, but they do come with minifigs, which is always nice, and it comes with a printed element on the Road Racer from 1984, and the one in the front is the service truck. Right, let's move along here, because there's a few here that I want to show you which I think are quite nice. Now the first one is the mail truck. It's this one just there. Let's put you in the center. There you are, Mr. Mail Truck. Now the mail truck from 1982 is nice, has some lovely printed elements on each side. It also comes with the printed mailbox as well, all in the original kind of style of yellow. So that's quite nice. That's from 1982. There's the convertible there. It's about as basic a build as you can possibly get. It's okay. It's not terrific, but you know, it's just another vehicle that you can put in your vintage city and it populates it. And you know, not all minifigures are fantastic, but when you populate them, it makes populate the city with them. It makes it look fantastic. So you know, that's, I kind of like that. Anyway, let's go to the tugboat next. So this tugboat, I don't know if you remember or if you've seen the video, but I did a do Lego vintage Lego boats float. Now it turns out that if you have this element just here, this is the metal weighted hull, not hull, it's an outboard. What do you call it? I can't think of what the word is. Anyway, if you have one of those, you're much better or much more likely to float. Now, again, I have a reel of vintage string that I plan on putting to here, but apart from that, it's lovely, it's finished, it comes with a minifig, and it's, you know, it's a basic set. But again, add to your boat collection, or if you like that sort of stuff. Let's move over to some more vehicles here. So we've got the Airliner just there. Now this is a wonderful little set. I'm going to keep this because I plan on building a airport on top of a very small hill, mountain, rock face type thing. So I'm going to mock up using the original airport set. Now this one has the, again, just like all the other Airliners, you can lift up the top, and so it has room for passengers, has room for baggage in the back, and it's just a lovely set from the mid-80s. I think it's 1985. So yeah, it's a great set. Now this one here, this helicopter, this is actually exactly the same as that helicopter up there. The only difference is it has the red 1x1 tile instead of the trans red 1x1 tile that the other one has. Now this one is from 1979, just like the police headquarters, came out same time, same set. So that was just a nice little helicopter build. Now let's move on to some of these. Now I want to show you, let's move the camera down slightly. I'm on this kind of weird tripod thing because I filmed this once before, you know, let you behind the curtain. I filmed this once before, and for some reason it was all shaky. So I've just decided to kind of do it on a tripod, and hopefully it kind of gives it a bit more stability. Anyway, so these are the Blacksmith shop and armor shop. Now Blacksmith is on the right. It's this one here, that one, and then this is the armor shop. Now both of these are extraordinarily expensive for what they are. There's some basic parts. There's some few, you know, castle tile type bricks, castle wall bricks. But apart from that, you're looking at kind of some printed shields, a couple of horses, a couple of minifigs. But that's about it. And they're going for 600 kroner and 1,000 kroner for each one of these. So yeah, absolutely bonkers. But, you know, they're lovely sets. And certainly if you were going to buy, as I am going to, some classic castle stuff, this might be certainly something that kind of populates the area and makes it look a little bit more full. So I'm definitely going to keep these, or maybe keep these, and then we'll see where we go. So the next couple of sets are quite interesting. So this is the vehicle's supply vehicle. So this is, I mean, is it a supply vehicle? Is it just a cart with a horse? with the box on the back. I don't really know, but you know, it's from 1984, it's fine. But the one in front, this is the Prisoner Convoy. Now this is a lovely little set for several reasons. So you get the horses here, then you get the 2 minifigs on the cart, you then get the one riding the horse, but then you get the little prisoner sneaking out the back as well. So you get that articulation out the back of the prisoner cart. So yeah, it's a lovely little set, and honestly, I quite like. I wasn't really into the castle theme before building these, but having built kind of these ones here, and then this one, and I've got hold of a couple of molded base plates which are going to come up on the channel over the next kind of few weeks. I'm kind of a little bit into castles now. I don't know if that's, you know, I just kind of really like it. I'm into the castle theme now. I'm sold on it. That kind of shows you the collection. Now, if you remember, I paid a couple of thousand krona for all of this when it was parted out in a mystery box. Now, I've done some basic calculations on BrickLink, and approximately this is now 12,000 krona. So there's definitely money to be made if you want to go through the effort, if you enjoy building Lego but can't be bothered to spend the fortune on the, you know, the really expensive stuff. But the one thing I would say is, if you like vintage Lego, you can go and buy it online. Absolutely. I have a BrickLink store, link below, if you want some vintage Lego. But you can also buy mystery boxes and get some of this kind of amazing, cool stuff. Build it yourself, and then get rid of the stuff you don't want to someone who actually will love it. And then you actually haven't spent any money for a Lego hobby. It's brilliant. Anyway, until the next one, guys, I will see you soon. We have about 4 videos in the pipeline now, so there's lots coming up on the channel. If you're interested, subscribe, hit the like button, all that sort of stuff. But until the next video, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.